Hello, welcome back to another part of the video. In the video series, we are discussing the invertebrates. The phylum which we are discussing are till now we have discussed about Porifera, Coelentrates, Platyhelminthes and so on. If you have not watched the previous video regarding the invertebrates, please do watch it and do subscribe to my channel. So, in this part of the video, we are going to discuss about the nematode. What are nematodes? So, what are the common, first of all, what are nematode? Commonly they are example is roundworm. You can see that this is the example of the roundworm. Roundworm is the example of, one second, okay. So, nematode, this is the example of the roundworm, and you can see here how they look like. They are bilaterally symmetrical and they are triploblastic, that is both the endoderm, mesoderm and the ectoderm are present. They are pseudocoelom, that is true coelom is absent in them, and in this case basically nematode sexual dimorphism is seen. What do you mean by sexual dimorphism? That is the male and the female can be sexually distinguished, okay, and they may be free living or parasitic mode of life, and fertilization is internal, that is usually they undergo sexual reproduction. And you can see here that is the cuticle, or you can see the skin undergoes molting. Molting means change or shedding periodically, that is their skin sheds from season to season or time to time. And one sensory organ is present near the mouth region, that is known as the amphid, which is a chemosensory organ. Chemosensory organ is responsible for certain type of sense. Example, most common example of these nematodes are the Ascaris lubricoid, which causes the disease known as Ascariasis. Then if we study about the Ascaris lubricoid, which is a parasite, here you can see that they are both type, that is they are two type, that is male and female, okay. So, female is comparatively, you can see comparatively larger than that of the body of the male. This is the difference between, if you see the structure of Ascaris lubricoid. So, I have mentioned in the earlier point that there is sexual dimorphism. So, you can easily by seeing their sexual characters, by externally seeing them, you can distinguish which one is male, which one is female. How can you know that? This is some interesting features I have pointed out. First is that they are, first you can see by their size. If size is long, then you can say easily that this is the female Ascaris lubricoid, and if the size is short, they are the male. And one interesting point to be noted down is that in case of the male, the tail part is slightly curved, whereas you can see here in the female part, the tail part is straight. The last part or the tail part is comparatively straight as that of the male. And one more thing is that in case of the male, there is a needle like, you can see here needle like copulatory spicule is present or papilla is present, but in case of female there is no such thing is present. And one more thing, in case of the male, both the that is they have cloaca is present. What is cloaca? You can say that is both the genital and the anal opening is same, is known as cloaca. But in case of the female, they have separate opening. Okay, this is the difference, certain difference I have pointed out in case of Ascarias male and Ascarias female. So, you can easily distinguish them. Apart from there are other nematodes which are also present from the Ascaris, which are diseases I have mentioned, what are the agent and what are the transmission method and what are the organs that affect them. So, as they have mentioned that they are free living as well as parasitic, most of them are parasitic form. What are the disease? That is pinworm disease. Pinworm disease is caused by Enterobium vermiculus, which is a nematode. How they are transferred? Through contact. If one person is transmitted, then through contact they can be transmitted, also by the contaminated food. Which organ is affected? Is the intestine. Whipworm, that is Trichuris trichura, by contaminated food and water they are mainly transmitted and they affect the intestine organ. And the common is the roundworm disease, which is which we have discussed now, Ascaris lubricoid, by food, contact and water they are transmitted, and they also affect the intestinal part. These all the diseases which I have mentioned in this table are important regarding exam point of view also. They will ask the disease and what are the causative agent they will ask. This is asked number of times. So, I have jotted down or I have mentioned in a proper format. Hookworm is Ankylostoma duodenum, and they are contact with the vegetation, that is by the contaminated vegetables they come, and they affect the lymph, lungs and intestine. And eyeworm disease, that is loa loa, that is the transmission is by through certain flies, and they affect the eye organ. Okay. And filariasis, which is common, Bucheria bancrofti, that is you can see their legs are large like elephant leg, which filariasis is known as elephant leg. They are mosquitoes are mainly the transmitting agents, and lymph vessel. One more thing I want to say, that what is the difference between transmission and causative agent? This organism will cause, but certain medium is required to transmit to the affected organ. So, these transmitting agents is by food, maybe by water, maybe, or by certain insects also. So, do not get confused between, if they are asking about the causative agent, then you should mention about the nematodes. If they are asking the mode of transmission, then you should mention whether it is by food, and affected organ of course you can say. And one more nematode which is found in the parasite also in the plants also. Okay. So, not only animal, but they also affect the plants, that is vascular plants basically they affect, that is known as root knot nematode. This is also important. Moving to the next, if we want to discuss about the life cycle of Ascaris lubricoid, you can see how the Ascaris lubricoid causes infection. So, what happens in the first stage, you can see here, this is the adult male and female Ascaris I have shown you. They live in the intestine of the human being, and by the fecus they come outside, and when they are deposited, when we eliminate our excretory substance in the open garden or open ground, then these fecus comes in contact with that of our vegetation. Okay. With our food, they come in contact with the food, and when this fecus may be of two types, that is that this fecus contain the eggs of the adult Ascaris lubricoid. So, the eggs may be fertilized or unfertilized. Okay. So, the unfertilized egg will not undergo further development, they will not further under development, they will perish. But if suitable conditions are favorable, then they undergo fertilization, the eggs become fully developed, they undergo different molting stage, and you can see here there is a symbol given here, these are the diagnostic stage, means by this stage you can diagnose that what stage it is, means you can in the lab you can diagnose them, you can see them. Okay. So, moving while they divide, that is 2 cell, 3 cell, 4 cell, 8 cell, they divide, and finally they come to a stage where they develop, and this stage is known as the L3 larva stage, and this L3 larva stage is the infective stage. And when we take this infected stage, okay, from the vegetables or through the contaminated food, as I have shown you in this table, that the roundworm is mainly affected due to contaminated food, water and or other means. Okay. So, if we take contaminated food and water, and we in that contaminated food and water, if this L3 larva is present, and if we ingest them, is the infective stage. Okay. The larvae are cuffed and swallowed and re-enter into the gastrointestinal tract. What do you mean by that? They will be re-entering it. They were present in the intestine, they were removed, but now you are already swallowed it. Okay. They have swallowed and re-enter into the gastrointestinal tract, and in this area, in this region, the maturation takes place. So, maturation proceeds in the small intestine, again the cycle will continue. So, this is how the Ascaris lubricoids causes infection. Very important, and you, if everything is not about remember, but one thing you should remember is that in the L3 larva condition, the mainly is known as the infective stage. It is asked that which stage of larva is known as the infective stage. So, you can say that L3 larva is the infective stage. This is important. Moving to the another part of the disease, which is known as the filariasis disease. This Ascaris lubricoid causes disease known as the Ascariasis, and Wucheria bancrofti is the agent which causes filariasis, and the agent is mainly the transmitter is the mosquito. So, first you can see here, and the mosquito takes a blood meal. So, first the mosquito, what they do, they make a pierce in the skin of the man and they carry the L3 larva enter the skin. This is different L3 larva, do not connect with that of the Ascarias, that is different, this is different. So, here also the L3 larva is a infective stage. So, by making a pierce, the mosquito, what they do, they take the blood meal and they release the L3 larval stage. Okay, this release the larva stage. Now, this larva, when they come inside the lymphatic system of the human lymphatic system, they undergo development, further development, they become adult. Okay. Now, this adult produce shaded microfilaria and migrate into lymph and blood channel. Further this adult really produces microfilaria, and these microfilaria is mosquito takes a blood meal. So, once this microfilaria is produced, which is the infective stage, what happen, again the mosquito will bite or make a pierce and they will suck blood, and by sucking the blood, they take this microfilaria inside their proboscis. What happened then? Till now no further development has taken place. Now what happened? Microfilaria shed sheath, penetrate the mosquito's midgut and migrate to the thoracic muscle. Now you will see that the microfilaria will undergo further development inside the body of the mosquito. You must be wondering that the mosquito is slow little, but inside that many things can be seen. So, what happened, once the microfilaria has entered the mosquito thoracic region or thoracic muscle, they undergo the first larval stage known as the L1 larval stage. Then they will undergo molting and form the second larval stage, that is L3 larval stage. And then finally, this L3 larva is known as the infective stage. This will enter into the head and the proboscis. This is known as the head region, where they undergo piercing. Okay, head and proboscis region, and finally it will again bite the healthy person. From the infected person, it will take the blood, and another person it will transmit this one. So, in this way the disease gets spread. So, filariasis is mainly transmitted by the mosquito. Which type of mosquito? Culex mosquito, that is female Culex mosquito. So, this is the certain important diseases, mainly Wucheria bancrofti and Ascariasis are mainly asked in exam point of view. So, these two I have only discussed. Apart from that, many other diseases also have mentioned, and here only the causative agents and the transmission and affected organs are important. So, this is all about the nematodes, and if you have any doubt regarding this video, do comment and like and subscribe my channel. And if you want to see more videos regarding my channel, I have made many videos, and do watch it. And if you want to see more upcoming videos, please subscribe my channel. And that's all for today's video. Thank you and have a nice day.